Hi, and welcome to BremSter Puzzles, and specifically back to the World Puzzle Federation pack from 2015, round 6, which was set by the Czech Republic puzzle creators. This puzzle was set by Jakub Razdira. I don't know how to pronounce it. And I turned around and said, we're getting away from the classics and into the variants. And I was double tricked because this is a double classic, often called, or this is called double Doku, and often called a Gatai puzzle is my understanding. This is a 50-point puzzle. It could be worth more points, not because the puzzle is harder, but because there's more of the grid to solve. At least that's what I'm hoping. So, so what do we need to do here? So, of course, links below to this individual puzzle as well as to the entire World Puzzle Federation archive. Let's have a look at how this puzzle works. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply, but so the way that works is in every box, into every row, and into every row and into every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. But there are two overlapping Sudoku grids. So this is one of the Sudoku grids, and this is the other of the Sudoku grids. And then both grids must have valid solutions. So when this is solved, each of those grids must have its own valid solution. Now, I often struggle with Gatai puzzles because some of them get incredibly large, and when the grids get too small, like I've got a very large screen and this is taking most of my screen, which is why if I'm looking at the top of the grid, I can't see the bottom because I have a minor visual disability, but I need the screen to be quite large in order for me to see anything. So this is where I have a problem. And this is why, this isn't an excuse for my scanning being bad, but it is why my scanning is sometimes so bad. So anyway, that's what's going on. We need to solve two different classic Sudokus in the same grid. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So place I think I want to start is we've got 1, 2, 3. We need 4. We've got 5, 4 and 8 need to go into those. That's not really helping, but let's look here. We've got 1, 2, 3. We need 4 and 8 in those as well, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit slower with my scanning, unfortunately. That's just going to be the way it is. So this has given me a 4-8 pair up here, and I'm not sure how to use that. So maybe if I do this, because these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, these aren't 2 and 3. And the 3 makes this the 2, which makes this the 3. So in here, I do need to put a 2 into this column. So 1, 2, 3, and this becomes a 4. So I've actually got some digits, which is good. So that puts 3 in one of those, and this is part of it. So this is 3 here, because this is part of the same grid. Okay. 6 is in one of these cells because of the 2 6s looking in here. So 6 is in one of those two. 7 and 7 means 7 is right here, which means 7 and 7 means 7 is right here, which is 7 and 7 means 7 is in one of those two. Okay, that's the sort of trick. Oh no! There's another trick I can use. This row. Okay. Got it. Got it. I think I understand. Let's look at this. Those are row 5 in the top grid. This is row 2 in the bottom grid. But those digits are shared. So those 3 digits, how do I explain? I don't want to use set theory, but basically these 6 digits are different from those 3 digits. So these 3 digits cannot be any of those because this is row 5 of the top grid. But these 3 digits can't be the same as those digits because this is row 2 of the bottom grid. But that means that because these digits are shared, those 3 digits have to be the same as those 3 digits. And this is going to be true in every one of these rows and every one of these columns. So this must be a 1-9 pair, and this must be a 6. And the 9 is looking down, making that the 1 and that the 9. There must be a 2 in one of those two because these digits have to be the same as those digits. So there's a 2 in one of those. There's an 8 in one of those. There's a 7 in one of those, and there's a 3 in one of those. 9 must appear in those, so 9 is in one of those two, and it can't be here, so this is a 9. 6 is in one of those two. 7, 1, 3 means this is a 1, 3 pair, and the 1 is looking up, making that the 3 and that the 1. I'm going to get rid of the colouring. Hopefully that was a good enough explanation. I didn't see that immediately. I imagine people who solve a lot of Gatai will understand this trick. So these are 1, 2, 4, and 8. There's no 2 there. But I can only do it in these 6 rows, and these columns. So 2, 5, these have to be 2 and 5, and this has to be a 7, because the same trick is happening here. 4, 8, and 6, this has to be a 6, this has to be 4 and 8, giving me a 4, 8 pair in that row. 3 and 3 are already lining up. 5 has to be in one of those two for that 5, and it can't be there. So this is a 5. 7 is in one of those two. 1 has to be in one of those two, one of these two, and 8 has to be in one of those two. And if 8 has to be in one of those two, that's the 4, that's the 8, that's the 4, that's the 8. Which means 8 has to be in one of those two, and that's not the 8. Which means these are 2, 4, and 6. Yeah, I'm not quite following that yet. But these are 2, 5, 7. There must be a 6 up here, and there must be a 4 down here, which must go here. Because I can't put 4 there. I had 3 in one of those two. Not sure how to translate that. This is an important concept, but I'm not fully clear on how to use it effectively. So maybe I mark these quads because 1, I've got 2, 3, I've got 4, 5, I've got 6, 7, and 8, 1, 3, 5, and 9. Well, there's a 1. No, there's 1, 3, and 9 in this row. So this is a 5, and I can take 5 out of those. I'm finding this very hard. The 3 here sees that one. The 9 sees that one. Don't know, but this is our triple now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, and 8 go into those. Now this 8 looks up and sees that one. The 4 looks up and sees that one. I know 7 is in one of those two. Well, this is a triple. 1, 2, 9. And there's no 2 in any of those. So that's a 2, and now I must put a 2 in one of those two. And these are 1, 2, 9, and these are 1, 7, 9. But there's a 2 in one of those, which sees that. So that's the 8. This isn't the 8. Okay. I am not very good at this. Okay. So 3, 6, 8, 9. So this is from 3, 8, 9. And this is from 3, 6, 9. Oh, the 4 makes that the 8, which makes that the 4. There's no 8 in either of those. So this is the 8. There's no 8 here. So the 8, there must be a 1 in here with the 3 or a 9. So these are 1, 3, 9. Because it has to be the same as those. Is it something like this cell, which sees a lot of things? It sees a 1, it sees a 2, it sees a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's an 8 or a 9. Let's look at this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 9. So these are all 5, 6, 8, 9. Now this one can't be 5 because of 5's looking up and down. This one can't be 8. This one can't be 6. That's not helped me at all. But what about these digits? These are 1, 4, 8, and 9. So 8 is in one of those 3. I can't put 8 in any of those cells. So 8 is in one of these. Actually, it's in one of those 2 because of this 8 looking across. So this isn't an 8. This is a 5 or a 9. This puzzle is actually giving me a headache. I know a lot of people enjoy this sort of puzzle. I really struggle with them. So there must be a 5 in one of those 2 because of this 5. I hadn't pencil marked that yet. So 5 can't be in any of those. So 5 is in one of those 2, and this 5 is looking up saying, that's not the 5, this is the 5. So now 5 is in one of those 2. But that 5 doesn't do much. There might be some weird relationship between this box and this box, but I don't understand it. And I'm not going to investigate it, not while I'm... because I could be wrong about that. I have no idea where to look. Like, this is not a triple. 1, 6, 7, 9. Oh, and this can't be 6 or a 7. This is a 1, 9. That's a pair. So these are a 6, 7, and there's a 7 there. This is a 6. This is a 7. The 1, 9 pair in this box makes this the 3, which means this is the 1, this is the 9, this is the 1, making that the 9, that the 1. These are 2, 3, 9, so these are 2, 3, 9. There's no 1 in there, which means there's no 9 in there. These are 1, 7, 5, which lines up with that. These are 2, 4, 6. There's no 6 there, so that's a 2, 4. That becomes a 6. There's no 6 here. These are 3, 8, and 9. There's no 9 there. There's no 8 there. But that gave me some progress. The problem I have is it doesn't feel like I can use it in any way. Well, that 9 takes 9 out of there. So what is this row? 3, 6, 7. That can't be 7, that can't be 7. So that's the 7. And this is a 3 or a 6. And in this box, it's 1, 3, 6. 1 must be up here and it can't be there. That's not the 1, that's the 1. These are a 3, 6 pair. And the 3 is looking up, making that the 6 and that the 3. That takes 6 out of there. So this is the 6, which works with a 4, 6. And this must be a 3 or a 9, which is the same as that. which I'm not seeing yet. Oh, this 2 makes that the 4, that the 2, and that the 4. I'm finding this incredibly hard to scan, but I'm getting there. I am going to have to take a long break after this puzzle because my eyes are killing me. So this 6 is looking down saying that's not the 6. So this is the 6. These are 2, 4, 5. There's no 5 there. So those are the same digit. That makes sense. So that's not an 8 anymore. That's the 8 because of this 8 looking down. And these are 2, 4, 5. These are 2, 4, 5. That can't be a 4. Is it this box now? 1 is in one of those two. 2 is in one of those two. 3, 4, 5. I don't see. 6, 7, 8 is in one of... Oh, 8 is right here. And 9 is not there. Because, so this is a 9, and these are 1, 2, 5. Without... Oh, this is the 1 because of the 2, 5 looking down. So these digits here are a 2, 5 pair. And the 2, 5 looks back, making that the 4, and this is a 2, 5 pair. So this is 2, 5, 7. So this is a 5, 7 pair. And these are, yeah, these are 4, 3, 8. So these are 3 and 4. Not seeing how to resolve that yet. I'll get there. I will get there. I promise I'll get there. Probably. The 9 is looking down, taking 9 out of there. But more importantly, the 9 is looking up, making this the 3 and this the 9. 1, 3, 8. These are 1, 3, 8. So there's no 9 in there. This is a 1, 3. And I can't put a 3 there. That's the 1. That's the 3. This is the 9. 4, 6, 9, 7, 2, 5. They line up. The 9 looks up, making that the 5, which makes that the 6. This is not the 6. The 5 looks up, making that the 2 and that the 5. This is a pair. I needed a 1 and a 3, and the 1 is looking across, making that the 3 and that the 1. This column, 1, I don't have a 2. This is a 2, which means neither of those are 2. That's a 4, 5. This is a 2. So this is 4, 5, 8. So this isn't a 2. This is the 2. The 3 is looking across, making that the 8, which makes that the 9, which makes that the 3. The 9 makes that the 8. This is not the 8. These are 4 and 9, and the 9 makes that the 4 and that the 9. So the 3 is looking up, making that the 4 and that the 3. The 4 is looking down, making that the 8 and that the 4. The 9 is looking across, making that the 2 and that the 9. The 2 is looking back, making that the 5 and that the 2. So it's got to be this box that's going to resolve everything. No, I've got to be able to resolve these on their own. The 2 is looking up, making that the 5 and that the 2. The 5 is looking down, making that the 4 and that the 5. This box has to, oh no, 1 makes that 7 and that 1. So these are 5 and 6. And the 6 is looking down, making that the 5 and that the 6. The 5 is looking up, making that the 7 and that the 5. These are 7 and 8, and the 7 is looking down, making that the 8 and that the 7. Whoops, wrong mode. 8 and 7. And 17 minutes and 9 seconds. Now, a world-class solver would be wanting to do that in about 5 minutes, and a solver trying to be competitive would be trying to do it in under 10. I took 17. I'm not very good, but I don't think I enjoyed that as much as I could, because looking at a grid that gets smaller like this really does just hurt my eyes. Even just adding 3 rows and 3 columns makes it small enough that my eyes start hurting. But hopefully this will be something that was a lot of fun for you. Yeah, That's the most important thing. If you guys are enjoying the puzzle and if you got stuck, I was able to unstick you. That's what matters. Thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to take a break for a bit. And as always, good luck with your solving.